welcome to the Fanatics of Film. My name is Ben. Thank you so much for joining me. This is just a real quick test. I'm just testing this this new season out to see how this does. So as we know, here we are, season 3, highly anticipated show, of course, as usual. Immediately we are introduced to Els and Mike's romance, and although accompanied by awkwardness with the singing along with the singing and making out, still accepted and exciting to the audience. This pushes the story forward, and I am immediately reminded of when these two first met, strengthening their bond even more. Elle's smile and almost drunken happiness makes me wish for her earlier days in my life. It makes me wish I could relive those moments in my life while being bombarded with nostalgic 80s music. Wow, this show truly is a tool. It's a tool or a weapon, whichever you prefer your terminology to be, designed to make me miss my entire life that has gone missing. As they sneak into the R-rated film, I am reminded of when my friends and I also did the same thing. We snuck into the theater to see Die Hard, Cadillac Man, Terminator 2, you name it, and a few others that escape my my memory right now. But we actually got tossed out of Cadillac Man, so there you go. There's that. We got tossed out of that show. There was, I believe, usually it was 5 or 6 of us. The power goes out as they're opening the opening scene of the Day of the Dead, and I love how the origin of the brief blackout is unveiled, flying over the entire town like a diorama. Was a particularly cool moment. Everyone waking up in a frantic state the next morning was also very fun. There was a Back to the Future Michael J. Fox moment, trying to put the pants on and falling down. As a result, it was a total Back to the Future moment there. I love how each one of the seasons is treated like a large movie. There are so many characters in this show, and potentially this would be something that could hurt the story, although they are able to still cultivate everyone's individual involvement in a desirable way. We get to see all the characters enough, and we are invested in them. They would not be able to handle this many characters if these were only 2-hour movies. Only with the full seasons are we able to make this happen. Dustin has supposedly has a new girlfriend named Susie in Utah. Haha. That's where I am. Utah women are beautiful. They talk about this. Dustin has several new inventions, the vibrating hammer, and all these other funny weapons that are there too. Steve Harrington's journey is rewarding in this first season. In the very first season, he was a kind of a douche, and we see him being humbled by his decisions, wallowing in his demise of working at the ice cream store. I know how he feels. I was in that very same situation. I never tried to hit on girls while I was working, though. Got hit on a few times, maybe here and there, but never tried to, because I was always in a, it's like you're at a fast food joint. You don't really feel compelled to kind of be some sort of hero or maybe a desirable figure at that point. I'm glad that they have continued to keep Will's connection to the Upside Down a large part of the story, because at the end of the season of season 1, I cannot forget how he had spent most of the season in the Upside Down, and then when he has returned in the final episode of that first season, a green slug comes out of his mouth in the bathroom, and this made me wonder if it was actually him. And this has come to light further on in this season. A lot of invasion of the body snatchers type of stuff going on. A lot of that type of thing happening here. So very interesting stuff. This made me wonder if it was actually him. So this did make me wonder if it was actually him, or if it was, Invaders from Mars / Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a version of him. This made me wonder if it was actually him. This made me actually think of the possibilities that Will might not be Will and might actually be dead. As Will keeps reaching for his own brainstem, I am reminded of Invaders from Mars. You missed the field trip, David Gardner.
You missed the field trip, David Gardner.
Let's see, the rats congregated into the warehouse and explode. Something is going on. Interesting edit from the exploding rats to a beautiful, sexy Ms. Wheeler. The lifeguard hitting on Ms. Wheeler, convincing her to meet him at the hotel room. All of these types of scenes are drowning in fantasy because all of that has gone away. You can't do that anymore. I can't help but be saddened by that. Dustin and friends set up an ET device to communicate with his girlfriend, and they can't seem to locate her frequency as the sun sets. Winona Ryder's eyes fill our hearts with loneliness as she remembers Bob Newby, and that is just a really, you know, a lot of people tend to say sometimes that Winona Ryder like overdoes things, and I'm sure you know, it seems like she may have been guilty of that once or twice in my experience that I've been able to witness her doing this. But I personally think she's kind of perfect in this role because it does kind of require, like, at least all the situations that I found her in this kind of require her to be as such. So I think she's been perfect in this show. So if not quite. I think she has been. She's kind of been perfect in this show so far. Let's see. Hopper is challenged with his own inability to adapt to establishing boundaries and trust in his sudden teenage daughter's hormones. Awkwardness oozes out of the screen as he tries to establish some sort of mutual respect while stumbling all over the words he is searching for while a romantic song plays in the background. That was a very awkward moment. Just after that, we are exposed to Mike's smugness and Hopper had mentioned before, and this does reveal the entitlement that some teenagers attach themselves to. At least I remember when I used to attach myself to this type of thinking, and I am sure I am guilty of it at some point. You know, although I tried to be as respectful, but you know, I'm not gonna pretend I was perfect, because I definitely wasn't. Hopper lies about his grandmother to get him to leave the house to protect Elle, etc. So that was kind of an interesting thing there. Will and Dustin find themselves in an awkward moment, talking about the D&D, doing something fun like they used to. A new rift has been opened in Russia, and apparently, and the scientific community is enthralled by the beauty of the living shadow coming through the portal. Ms. Wheeler prepares herself to her romantic encounter. Ms. Wheeler prepares herself for her romantic encounter. And realizes that her plan to cheat is frivolous when she sees her husband falling asleep with her daughter. The guilt is overwhelming for her. So, you know, it's everybody is just all you know, pulling out all the big guns here this final season. So far I'm on like season 5, episode 5. There are some moments where it's a little cringeworthy at this point. There is some moments where they are trying to bash on the men's and trying to enhance the women. I guess this is our life now. You know, it's really weird. I'm not a huge fan. It's really weird. And I just had a friend who said he's gonna, you know, abandon his Netflix subscription because of this. So I don't know. You know, you tell me. You tell me, Netflix. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to do that? So, whatevs. Anyway, if you like this episode, please leave a like, leave a comment down below, and I'd love to talk to you about the show. I do thoroughly enjoy it, and I've been having some good times with this. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having an awesome Independence Day, and hope to talk to you soon. Take care.